Weitzel, and we're here at Pan, and we're going to interview someone named Matt Feldhage. Is that what's his last name?
Feldhage, yes.
Feldhage. I got it right. Okay. So you're going. We're here at Pan, and we're here to interview Matt Feldhage, and he's a product owner.
Okay.
So I get to
Hi,
first question.
I'm Matt.
Hello, my name is Layla Weitzel. Don't forget it.
Layla, nice to meet you.
Hi, Maddie.
Maddie, nice to meet you.
Okay, so first question. Is it hard or very easy to understand code?
Well, I think it depends on your experience. So if you've coded before and you've learned a programming language, it's probably fairly easy. But if you're new to it, there's a pretty big learning curve.
When you use creativity with your work, is it more fun or hard?
I find it to be a lot more fun because when you're creative, there's a little more flexibility there, there's a little more freedom to do what you want to do, and I like that part of it.
Okay, is it hard to make software?
I think it depends. If you're familiar with creating software and familiar with programming languages and coding, then it may not be too difficult. But if you're not, there's a big learning curve. I think it also depends on what you're working on. If you're building a big algorithm to search the internet, that could be a little hard, might be challenging. But if you're just putting a little web page together, it might not be that difficult.
How many types of code are there, and which is the most hard to use?
Well, there's a lot of programming languages, probably more than I can name. I don't know them all. Some of them are hard, some of them are easy, like HTML, which is what you use to make a basic website. It's not too hard. It's probably pretty easy to put together a website. If you're using C# or Java, like is what we use here, it can be pretty difficult, and there's a lot of learning involved to be very good at it.
I've actually used Java before.
That's awesome.
Okay, have you ever made a video game?
I have. I don't remember what it was. I think it was in school or a training exercise I had with a previous employer, but yes, I have made a video game.
Was your video game creative?
I think it was creative. I think it was like tic-tac-toe or something like that. I don't remember, but there's always some creativity involved.
What is it like creating software? Can you do whatever you want, or do you have to follow some certain rules?
Well, we like for you to follow rules, but a lot of times we do have cowboy coders, is what we call them. So they'll go off on their own and do whatever they want. They won't follow standards. They won't follow procedures. So it really depends. It's good to follow standards, so those who come after you, who might have to maintain it or take care of it, they can easily figure out what you're trying to do. If it's a little more complicated and you sort of went off on a tangent building it, it might be a little more difficult.
Do you make code, or is it already made?
We definitely make code. We use a software product called Visual Studio to build our code. And so someone has built that off of, Microsoft built that tool for us. It's all built through code, and then we build our code on top of that.
Okay. Last but not least, do you like code or do you not like code?
I like coding. I like the creativity. I like the problem solving. I think there's a logical creativity to it, so it's not pictures and paintings and the normal creativity, but there's a lot of freedom to figure things out and find unique solutions to different problems. So I like it.
That was our last question, so thank you for letting us interview you.
You're welcome. Thank you for interviewing me.
Have a nice day.
You too.
That was
Okay.
Elena.
So remember during the interview we talked about Visual Studio, and that was the tool that we use to write our programs and code in. So this is what we're looking at here. This is Visual Studio, and this is our application that Pan has. This page that we're looking at is the Resource Center. So this is what we call the code behind to this page. So you have there's HTML in here, and then to make what you see on the page interact with things behind the scenes, like a database where the data is stored and other things, we write actual C# code. So if you've seen Java, it's a little similar to Java, but this is a sample of that code. Now, it probably means nothing to you because it's very business specific and it's probably a little more advanced than just normal HTML or basic coding, but this sort of gives you an idea of what it looks like.
That's cool.
Does that help?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you for watching.
This
has
is our
been
been our wow factor. Just hands.